I told myself I wouldn't do it 10 years ago, but here I am, a decade later, and I did it. I compromised my principles. Let's talk about what I did and why this coin is so important as we explore. It's a very rare thing for me to do a video about one coin, but that's what I'm going to do in this video. By the way, if you want to get coins, silver and gold, check out summitmetals.com. They have very competitive prices and great service. Summitmetals.com. So what is this about? Well, there's a clue right on your screen. In fact, it's not a clue, it's right in front of you. But we're going to get to that in a moment. I want to tell you the backstory of how I was led down this road. There's a couple of reasons why I didn't promise, I just said I wouldn't do it, that I would not buy a new Chinese silver coin. In other words, of the current year of issue. And that happened back in 2015. 2015, for those of you who remember, was the last year that the Chinese mint, which, by the way, there are four of them in total in China that produced the Panda. And the Panda really is a very high quality coin. You will pay a premium for it. But this is the last year that they made it in 1 ounce size. In fact, there was some controversy as to whether or not it was a full ounce of silver. I did a test on that back in the day and found that there are some that actually came a little bit underweight. But of course, they could get away with it because, as you can see here, there's no weight impurity on it. I don't know why they didn't put the weight impurity on these, other than just to kind of, in a sense, cheat, I guess, members of the public buying these. Now, they didn't have to be set to a stringent on the weight impurity. And it also sets themselves up for fakes because you can just produce these things and say, well, it's not fake silver because it doesn't say silver anywhere on the coin. And there's no weight impurity on this other than a denomination. Of course, this is genuine. It's been tested, but these Panda coins have a common, I think this is actually the obverse, if I'm not mistaken, that have the date and they have this pagoda, whatever building that is in China. I'm sure somebody will tell me in the comment section below, probably Jade the Fright, as to what that building is and what this says up here. I'm only marginally interested in this. I actually like this design, but nonetheless, in 2016, for those of you who remember, they moved to grams. They went from the imperial to the metric standard of weights. Unique in the world of bullion coins, that is. Now, we know there are bars that have that, and there are, on rare occasion, other coins that have it, but they're off the beaten path, or they're numismatic pieces usually. But for a very popular bullion series to move to a gram weight, I just was not having that. I said, I'm not going to buy these. But that's not the only reason why I stopped buying them new from bullion dealers for current year of issue. Is because China has done very little to stop the counterfeiting that occurs on coins, not only their own, but other mints, bullion coins as well. There's a lot of fakes that come out of China. And I didn't want to participate and give them any more money or support for that kind of thing until they crack down. And of course, I'm also very much against communism as well. There's that little side notion, and China is a communist country. Notwithstanding, their coins are very nice, and they're very high quality, but you will pay a premium for them. In fact, you're paying a high premium for these, even though they lose 1.1 grams in actual weight, you still pay a very high premium. Now, this one is from 2017, and this is from 2016. And so you might be asking yourself a question, well, Sal, if you said you're not going to be buying these coins new from the mint anymore, why do you have a 2016 and 2017 version? I think I have a 2018 one as well, sent to me as a gift from Cybercurrent Twitcher. Well, it is because they were either sent as gifts or I got them at a really good price secondhand at my local coin shop. In other words, no money is going to support the communist regime in China. Of course, we can't help in some ways supporting China anyways with all the goods and products we buy. And of course, hopefully with tariffs, and have some of that will normalize too. But nonetheless, prices are going to go up as well. But that's a whole nother discussion. So that is the background, and those are the reasons why I decided to stop buying brand new China pandas, both gold and silver. Any gold coins you've seen that I've shown have been from the secondary market or from a local coin shop. Until this year, 10 years later, fast forward 2025, I bought brand new this coin. And not only did I, this coin is not just a Chinese coin, it is from the government of China, no question about it, but it is an extremely, extremely high premium. And by the way, it did not come in this capsule. So I'm also abandoned other principles too. This is not a very rare coin, but it is a new coin. So let me tell you a little bit about this coin and what's historic about this. This is the only second time that there has been a bullion silver coin from China. That's it. The Panda is their flagship coin, and the coins are both silver and gold. Until this year, 2025, this came out. This is the Chinese Silver Dragon, first ever issue of the Chinese Silver Dragon. And why did I buy it? And why did I pay such a high premium? Honestly, it all boils down to it looks cool. It looks really cool. And it's not as quite as good a quality as the Pandas, and the premiums are ridiculously high. And by the way, you can see here that they went back to the measure of 1 ounce. Now, they don't call it an ounce. It's 31.1 grams AG, 3 nines fine. It's not even 4 nines fine. But at least it's back to the standard weight. So that is something going for them here. But it has the face value of 10 yuan, and it is fully backed by the Chinese government. And so this has a limited mintage. Get this should remind you of exactly what happened in 2017 when the South African Mint had a similar mintage. In fact, I think theirs was half. This has a limited mintage of only, wait for it, 2 million coins. 2 million. Yet you hardly see these around. Have you ever seen this coin before? 2025. There it is. And so this has the Silver Dragon coin, and it's the Great Wall of China, and this is the obverse side, although I always kind of see this as the reverse, but this is the obverse, and it has a Great Wall of China, and is now viewed as a single landmark. It began as a series of separate walls built by regional kingdoms as far as back as the 7th century BC, and this is what is shown there. The reverse has the dragon, displays a detailed image of the Chinese dragon, and these dragons were present throughout Chinese culture, from artwork to writings to royal ceremonies. And so, yes, indeed, we see that there, and we also see the background here, which is a waving radial line pattern, which I think is really cool looking. And that waving radial line pattern is not matched on the reverse, but it still has a nice look to it here, with sort of a level of frosting there, and a straight radial line there on the outside of that frosted inner portion there. But nonetheless, there it is, and I just think it looks cool. And it didn't come with a capsule. It has a very high mintage. I do not recommend. I repeat, I do not recommend buying this strictly unless you really just want a cool looking coin. It's not going to be worth anything more than spot price. I paid about $140 for this thing, or $130. It's been a little while now, but I wanted to do this video and show it to you as to why I decided to do it. Because you see, the thing is, when it's all boils down, I really am a collector, probably first and foremost. This is not a stacker piece, even though it does have a high mintage, and it's presented essentially as a stacker coin with a mintage of 2 million. Crazy. But yes, but it is historic, as this is the first year of issue. And apparently it is I don't know if this is going to be a repeat design or if it's going to change every year. But nonetheless, that's what it is. And so this is why I purchased it. And I'm not going to get any more of them, but thought it was interesting. And in part two, I just wanted to kind of show something a little bit different on the channel than the normal that you see. I don't know if they're going to do these in gold, by the way. I've not heard anything about that, but it's crazy. I don't understand the high premium for it either. It's mind-boggling, but I saw it and I was like, well, you know what? I might as well get it. Now, in 2017, the South African Mint, as I mentioned earlier, produced the Krugerrand, which had, I think, 1 million mintage. I don't know that many were actually produced, but nonetheless, that coin had a special finish and came in a capsule, and I got one of those as well too. I don't know what the aftermarket is for them, but still. By the way, this coin in the background is not a Chinese coin. It does have Chinese dragons on it. This is actually a coin from New Way. I just like to look at the double dragon on this one here, and the finishes and the like, and that was a much cheaper coin. But let me know what your thoughts are on this coin. I fully expect that this is going to lose money. Now, if that's the maximum mintage rather than the, quote, limited mintage, that means if they produce these to demand, it very well could be a low mintage coin. Who's going to pay $140 for 1 ounce silver that comes in a plastic flip and not in a capsule? Not many, except for fools like me who did. And again, I'm not encouraging you to get one. In fact, I'm basically doing this to show you what it looks like so that you don't have to buy it because you can see it here up close and personal rather than going out and buying it. And you can see that it's really not the best quality. There's some imperfections on it, which should not be there. You can see some marks here on the rim and the like, and some of the imperfections in the frosting and the like. So it's not anything special other than it kind of looks cool. Very high premium. Don't buy it. I bought it, so you don't have to. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section down below. I hope you found this video informative, insightful, and I hope you will forgive me for backing out of my principles as we say goodbye. And I want to encourage you to still rate, share, comment, and subscribe.